Hello everybody. This is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today we're gonna make an arrangement on a pumpkin. Now I said on a pumpkin because I am not going to carve this pumpkin and take all its insides out. I'm going to add the foam right to the top of the pumpkin. We're going to use some pretty fall flowers, some different mums, some sunflowers, a few spray roses, and some beautiful greens, and we are going to make a lovely centerpiece for any type of fall gathering. Watch as we put this together. Okay, so we are starting out with just a pumpkin. This is actually a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. It's a larger pumpkin and it was on my front porch, so that's the reason I'm using this orange pumpkin. Now you can go to your local store or garden center or what have you and pick out a fun, interesting pumpkin. I just so happen to have an orange pumpkin on hand. Now, I have always been hesitant to make arrangements in pumpkins because I don't like to have to clean out the inside with all of the seeds and all of that. They're just yucky to me. But I had a book that I found that was telling me all of these different beautiful arrangements, and I love to look into different catalogs and books and all the things for different ideas. But instead of opening the pumpkin, they took fresh floral foam, pressed it down on the stem, and then arranged the flowers in the foam that was just sitting on top of the pumpkin. And I said that's exactly what we would do. So I've got fresh floral foam. Now this is a big stem, so it's going to make quite a hole in this foam. But I am just pressing, and it's getting us really wet, but it's okay. I'm going to press that foam right down on top of that stem. Now this is just going to guarantee that this foam is not going to go anywhere. Now I'm going to take my floral knife and I'm going to trim it down. Now anytime you are working with fresh floral foam, you always want to soak it first. Now this foam may look a little different than Oasis brand foam. It is not by Oasis, it's by a company called Ludwig. So this is thirsty foam, and so it does look a little different than Oasis. And so the reason I call it fresh floral foam is because I'm not using Oasis. Oasis is actually a name brand of a foam. So next what we're going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of moss, and I'm going to dig in this drawer to see if I have any. Now what the moss, yeah I do. This is just a Spanish moss, and what it's going to do is help me to camouflage this foam a little bit. I don't want it to be so obvious green foam, right? So I am just taking this moss and I'm just kind of going around the bottom of that floral foam and just kind of tucking it all the way around. That's just going to help me camouflage that foam. Next I'm going to come in with a little bit of greenery. So I have three different types of greenery here. I have a little bit of leather leaf. We're going to start with that first. And I'm just going to take it and take small pieces and just tuck it right into that floral foam. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, Monty, how in the world am I going to water this arrangement? I would take this pumpkin and I would set it in the sink and just run water over it, and I would do that over into the foam. I would do that every day because the flowers are going to be much happier if they have water, and that's going to be the best way. Let it drip really good, and then you can put it back in its place on the table or wherever you have your arrangement placed. So I'm just coming all the way around with my leather. I'm not going to use tons. I think I'm going to use 3 pieces total. And you can see I'm just breaking it into smaller pieces and just tucking it right into that foam. All right, so there is our leather leaf. Next we're going to come in. I have, let's see, I have some agonis foliage, and then I have some parvifolia eucalyptus. So I'm going to come in with my parvifolia first. So look how beautiful that parvifolia is. It's very drippy. It's a very drippy eucalyptus. And so that's really what I wanted. I want kind of this drippy look where it's kind of dripping down that pumpkin. So you can see I'm just taking it and breaking it into really smaller pieces and just kind of going all the way around. I love beautiful mixed greenery. I think greenery, honestly, you could do a beautiful arrangement with just greenery. Now, if you don't want to go and buy mixed greens, you can absolutely go out in your yard and cut them. So don't feel like you can't cut things. If you have any of the oak trees that are starting to turn colors, they would be beautiful. Those leaves would be beautiful. Or even a Japanese maple that's that pretty bright red color. Just go out and look and see what you have available to you. Even Nandina is really pretty. But anything that's available to you is always fun to use that's in your yard. Now this is called Agonis. Agonis, often you can see it's kind of feathery. Most of the time when we get it in, it's a pretty burgundy color. Bless you. And so this time, I guess it's probably because it's so warm that it has not really colored up to be real burgundy. But I do love the fact that it's real feathery and it's pretty and it's fun to use. So I'm just taking it just like I did my eucalyptus, and I'm breaking it into smaller pieces and then kind of coming all the way around in this arrangement. And I'm going to set this to the side and I will use it at the end if we need it. Okay, next we're going to come in with, I've got lots of beautiful mums. So these are, I don't even know the variety, but love the color. These are some chrysanthemums that my friend Mary, she grows flowers. And she brought me these beautiful chrysanthemums. So I'm just taking these stems and I am just cutting them into smaller pieces. Actually, I'm going to just pop that and break it. And I'm just nestling those right down into that floral foam. And I like to kind of break them into smaller pieces because they're kind of clumpy, and I certainly don't want them clumpy in my arrangement. So I'm just breaking them into smaller pieces. Now this type of mum, you really want to use in shorter, more compact arrangements because then you can kind of break them apart. Next I'm going to come in with this really pretty maroon colored chrysanthemum. Now these we ordered from Budsy, and in the fall, I like to get lots of a mixed box of mums, and they'll come in burgundies and oranges and golds, all the pretty colors. So the wonderful part about these, when you order them from your floral provider, is they come with a little bit of a longer stem. So I'm able to actually pull the individual flowers off and then tuck them all the way throughout this arrangement. The wonderful part about chrysanthemums is you can do that. So this is what we would call a spray, and that means it just has lots of little flowers on one stem. It's kind of like a spray rose. A standard rose has one larger bloom. A spray rose has lots of tiny ones. So it's just a spray of flowers. And they're really so nice to be able to break apart and just kind of tuck throughout your arrangement. And again, you can do that when you're working on more of a compact arrangement. If I was doing something tall, I would have to use individual, the full stem to be able to make it work in my arrangement. I'm going to set this one to the side. I may need it in a little bit. Next, we are going to come in with some sunflowers. These came from Mary's garden also. These are sweet little, and it's more of a Vincent variety. I don't know her exact variety. When we get in a traditional, very common sunflower, it's called a Vincent sunflower. Just a yellow with a dark center, very traditional. Now I'm going to take these stems, cut them with my knife. I'm going to leave some kind of tall and sticking out. I'm leaving all their pretty leaves on them because to me those leaves make me so happy. But they're so pretty and so traditional. Such a pretty traditional yellow with the dark center. All right, so there's our pretty yellow sunflowers, just kind of tucked here and there all the way around. Now you can see I'm leaving my flowers a little whimsical. I want them to kind of be big and whimsical. If you want it more compact and shorter, you absolutely can arrange it that way. Next, we're going to come in with some wax flower. This is a dyed material. Wax does not come this color naturally. So in the fall, they will take wax flower and they will tint it. Wax flower often comes in kind of pastels, pinks and lavenders and whites. And so they will take it and they will just tint it different autumn colors, which makes my heart happy because I love wax flower. All right, and you can see I'm kind of doing exactly like I did with my daisies. I'm just taking this wax and I'm just breaking it into smaller pieces and tucking it throughout my arrangement. And it makes it go so much further. I'm using 2 total stems of wax flower, and you can see how it's going all the way through my arrangement. Alexa, pause. Okay, there's our wax all the way throughout that arrangement. Next, we are going to come in with some spray roses, really pretty orange spray roses. Again, I'm going to do just like I did with my other flowers, and I'm going to cut them into smaller pieces, like individual stems, and kind of tuck them all the way throughout my arrangement. Okay, to finish off our arrangement, I have some sweet little zinnia flowers. These also came from Mary. Mary has been so kind. Her growing season usually, so Mary does a subscription program. She is a local grower, and she does a subscription program with her clients where her subscriptions, her flower subscription goes through from March until the 1st of October, because we usually get a frost, and we have been so lucky not to have a frost yet here in Mississippi, in Starkville, Mississippi. I'm not sure about everywhere in Mississippi, but in Starkville we have not had a hard freeze, and so her flowers have lasted so much longer, and so she brings us the extra flowers, and so that's so exciting to be able to use her beautiful locally grown blooms. And so these are pretty zinnias, and I just kind of tucked those throughout. So this is just kind of a wildflower arrangement. It's kind of got a lot of whimsy. You can see how I left my stems longer. The flowers that I did choose to use were 2 different types of chrysanthemums. We used the sunflowers, those mini yellow sunflowers. I used a tinted wax flower, the orange spray roses, and the zinnias, and then some pretty mixed greens. And look how fun this arrangement is. Now you can make this for a buffet if you wanted to, a taller and showier arrangement by giving it some height with some line flower, or this could be certainly a centerpiece. Now remember, you can choose any type of pumpkin. Any type of pumpkin will work. All you're going to do is take that floral foam that you have soaked and stick it right on that stem, and it is not going anywhere. And it is a beautiful, very fun arrangement that is perfect for any occasion. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, and be sure that you have subscribed to our channel. Hit that subscribe button right down below, and if you'll hit the bell, it'll give you notifications for when we have a brand new video. Guys, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you real soon.